A bank employee died at her desk and wasn't found for 4 whole days. South Korea offers a million won just for starting a romantic relationship. And a man spiked his wife's coke with cocaine to try to marry her daughter. These are the weird stories for Tuesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the universe. A Wells Fargo bank employee was found passed away in her cubicle 4 days after she clocked into work. I'll tell you, these return to office mandates are really getting out of control. We have here a 60-year-old Wells Fargo employee in Arizona. She scanned into her office on a Friday and what appeared to be an ordinary workday. Then, 4 days later, sadly, she was found dead in her cubicle. All right, let's unpack this. I have a lot of questions. Why did it take 4 days for someone to find her? She work all alone on an entire floor to herself? Her name was Denise Prudhomme. She was found dead inside her office in Tempe, Arizona. She scanned in the building at 7 a.m. on a Friday. Then there was no further scan in or out of the office. She was at her cubicle all weekend and was not found until Tuesday. So she went from a Friday to a Tuesday. Is there no security in this building? No, there's no other coworkers? Friends, family checking in on her, missing anything? This is very strange. The Tempe, Arizona police were eventually called into the Wells Fargo office after on-site security called about an employee they believed to be dead, but that wasn't until Tuesday. It says the cause of death is pending determination by the medical examiner. However, police say the preliminary investigations showed no signs of foul play, obvious foul play. It's not clear how Prudhomme had gone unnoticed for so long, they say. Reportedly, she worked in a cubicle that was on the third floor away from the main aisle. An employee who spoke with the media on the condition of anonymity said a colleague found her at her desk while walking around the building and that several people had smelled a very foul odor, but believed it to be the result of some faulty plumbing. Again, how did it take so long to find this lady? It wasn't this past weekend, it was the previous weekend, so it's not a holiday Monday. So everyone's working all day Monday, they don't find her. Banks are, I don't know if they're open on Saturday. She's there all day Saturday, clearly. No choice of her own. No one finds her that day? An entire weekend? I work all alone in a closet. It would take weeks for someone to find my dead body. That's pretty sad. This is the state of affairs. There's a quote here from Wells Fargo who said that we are deeply saddened by the tragic loss of our colleague at our Tempe office. Our thoughts and prayers. There they go with the thoughts and prayers, guys, so you know it's legitimate. You know they're really feeling something when they say the term thoughts and prayers. That always lends a sense of credibility. Our thoughts and prayers are with their family and loved ones during this difficult time. Now, knowing Wells Fargo, given their sketchy past, I'm sure they're going to send the family a bill for unauthorized overtime for this lady. Wells Fargo says that counseling is available to any of the employees, and the company said it is cooperating with the police in this investigation. Yeah, cooperating by getting all the details that they need. Yes, we get an accurate time of death, please? As accurate as you can be for reasons. Wells Fargo is the type of place that'll bill the family for unauthorized overtime or something. They're just pathetic, really. And let this be a lesson to us all, especially if you work for a big, uncaring corporation where you happen to just be another number at a cubicle. Take all your sick days, all your PTO, all your vacation days, all the time off that you can. Make sure you get it in because you never know. You could just croak at your desk and not be noticed for days. South Korea is offering 1 million won just for starting a romantic relationship. In a bid to tackle South Korea's persistently low birth rate, local and central governments are rolling out innovative policies to encourage marriage and to encourage childbirth. Among these initiatives, Busan has introduced a unique approach. They're offering some cash to couples who begin a romantic relationship through a district-organized matchmaking event. The district is funding a mass blind dating event aimed at both Korean and foreign singles. The event is scheduled for October. It's targeting young adults between the ages of 23 and 43 who either reside or work within the district. They're hoping that a lot of single people will get involved because they're offering significant financial rewards. If a man and a woman decide to start a romantic relationship as a result of this blind dating event, they're going to receive a cash bonus of 1 million won, which is about 750 US dollars. Well, that sounds like a substantial amount of money just to go on a date. Shoot, when I go on dates, I lose money typically. 750, that seems pretty good. I mean, probably not enough to date someone like me. People are going to want a lot more than that. I'm a lot to put up with. There's got to be a way to scam this out, man. If I lived in Busan, I could go on 2 dates a week. That's 1,500. Cleared, baby, cleared. And you meet some people. What's wrong with that? Take the money and go on a vacation with somebody that you really like. Hold up, though. Listen to this. The incentives don't stop at the initial 750. Couples who hold a Sangjeonrai, which is a traditional meeting between the families of the couples, often preceding a wedding, will receive an additional 2 million won. So that's 1,500. And then if the couple decides to marry, they're going to be rewarded with a bonus of 20 million won. What does that come out to, like $15,000? My goodness, they really want people to have some babies over there. We need more slaves. Excuse me, we need more happy couples, young happy couples. Yes, that's what we want. Did I say slaves? That just slipped out. Now, furthermore, the district office has pledged to provide some housing support to married couples for up to 5 years, aiming to alleviate some of the financial pressures that young couples face these days, like trying to buy a first home, which obviously is very difficult. So they're offering some support there, too. Sounds pretty good to me. While the exact rules and scale of the event have not been disclosed yet, the district office plans to carefully review applications and conduct interviews to select participants in this blind date event. They say that if this year's event in October succeeds in attracting attention and yielding some positive results, also known as baby slaves, the office said it would make this an annual event with more non-Korean participants even. Ooh. Now, this is nothing new. It seems like these countries, especially in Asia, are really trying very hard to get people together. They're very concerned about the dropping birth rate, which actually is affecting the entire world. Even here in the States, we've had the dropping of the birth rate. It just seems like a natural progression, though, as the world gets overpopulated. A, the cost of living is very high. B, people are getting more enlightened. They're living longer. They're seeing the disadvantages in having to provide for a bunch of niños under your roof. I mean, it's no fun, man. People want to live a life. They want to have fun. They want to travel. They can barely afford themselves to have a fulfilling life. How are they going to, it's hard to talk them into pumping out babies right now. These programs aren't working, though. I've covered many of them. I don't think they're working. I mean, I'm not hearing about positive results when they're offering these cash rewards and all this other stuff. Now, this particular cash reward is pretty substantial, given if you get married, it's like 15 extra K. And possibly, maybe, I don't know what they're doing as far as housing is going, but maybe they're giving you a very low interest rate or giving you a relief on the down payment or something. But again, these programs aren't really working. And so what are these countries going to do eventually? Just have some sort of laboratories cloning kids as a last resort? Who are your parents? Oh, my parents are the Microsoft Slave Generation program. A husband admitted to adding cocaine and MDMA to his wife's cokes in hopes he would marry her daughter. What in the Jerry Springer is going on here? This story's out of Indiana, but it sounds like a Florida story. An Indiana man admitted to putting a poisonous off-white powdery substance into his wife's Coca-Cola so he could kill her and marry her daughter, according to the court records. His name is Alfred Ruff. He's 71 years old. He's pleaded guilty to aggravated battery for trying to poison his wife. He's been sentenced to 4 years in prison, 5 years of probation. He told police he had been spiking his wife's drinks over the last few months with a substance given to him by his wife's daughter. Well, you know what they say, guys. A family that slays together stays together. Rufe's wife called the county sheriff's department at some point and told them about her husband's activities, and then gave the responding deputy a pill bottle that contained the unknown powdery substance. She also gave the deputy a Coca-Cola can that she drank. At the bottom of the can was an off-white residue, according to the documents, containing the substances MDMA and Coca-Cola. How do I get this guy Ruff my Coke cans? Maybe he can get them back to me in time for the weekend. Sounds... Now, the wife was taken to the hospital by the deputy. She tested positive for MDMA, cocaine, and benzodiazepines. She denied using these drugs voluntarily. So naturally, the deputies interviewed the old man Ruff at the sheriff's office. He told them that he was sexually involved with his wife's 31-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. He also explained that his wife's daughter gave him the pill bottle with the powdery substances and instructed him to put it in her mother's drink. Yeah, which clearly he did. This poor woman, she got the original Coca-Cola formula. Are you guys familiar with originally Coca-Cola had cocaine in it? At least that's what I've heard. It's funny. It's ironic that you can now go to jail for that, but back in the day it was in there. Now, Ruff told the deputies that the drug cocktail inside her Coca-Cola would make his wife go to sleep for 13 hours or so. He also confessed that he put the drugs in the drink to, quote, eventually kill her? Wow. Okay. The man says that the daughter and her female friend would call him and tell him to give the drugs to his wife. He would sprinkle some of the white powder into his wife's Coca-Cola can and then wait for her to fall asleep. I'm a little confused with this choice of substances to make somebody fall asleep. I've done MDMA and cocaine, and kind of makes you want to dance, I would say, more so than fall asleep. I know there's benzos in there, but it's like he's mixing uppers and downers together, and somehow it's making the lady fall asleep for 13 hours? I'm just very confused. Now, the guy goes on to describe further activities. This is how it all goes down. The daughter and the friend would then come over to his residence and put more of an unknown substance in Ruff's wife's drink and have her drink it. Once Ruff's wife was asleep, the daughter and her daughter's friend would put on a show for Ruff. The show involved the two women putting on Ruff's wife's negligees and then performing sex acts on one another in front of Ruff. Ruff also told the police that while he was having sex with his wife's daughter and her friend, one of the women would steal some of his wife's personal items. He also admitted to paying the women to perform sex acts as well. I mean, all this putting the wife's clothes on and putting on a show. This is a family game night I've never heard of. Guys want to play Cards Against Humanity? Nope. How about Bang, Marry, Kill? Also known as Florida Night. Yikes, man. Now, it says the victim's daughter told Ruff she wanted to get the mother out of the picture once she found out they were selling the home. The victim's daughter also mentioned a life insurance policy to Ruff that her mother had in place. Ruff confirmed to deputies that he gave his wife the powdery substance 12 times over the span of about 3 months, it looks like. He also told deputies the victim's daughter said she and Ruff would get married after they, quote, took care of his wife. Ruff acknowledged that he was aware that the drugs might eventually kill his wife. He also said he gave her the substance just so her daughter and her daughter's friend could come over and have sex with him, according to the affidavit. Now, Ruff has been sentenced to 4 years in prison and 5 years probation. No charges for the daughter, seems. I don't know how she's not charged. And the friend as well. They're all part of this scheme, it would seem. Wow. I mean, this is out of control. You're going to regret not having kids, Jonesy. Who's going to take care of you when you're older? Nah, I'm good. Hey, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you had an amazing holiday weekend. Those of you who happen to be in a country where you celebrate the grand old Labor Day, I had a swell time drinking some very, very expensive cocktails. Because I know people, guys. I know people. I know some people. If you make people laugh, sometimes they give you free booze, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, I've had an amazing weekend. Even did some fantasy football drafts, squeezed in a couple of those, including the Weird AF News Patreon Fantasy Football League's first ever draft. So shout out to all the people in the Patreon that are part of that league. We had a pretty good draft. And I got to converse with a couple of the patrons as well on a Google Meet. So shout out to Ramiro and Earl, who took the time to sign in on and have some discussions with me while we were drafting. We had some good laughs, so that was pretty fun. All in all, a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a great fantasy football season. So, and my team, although ESPN sent me an email saying that I got a C grade on my draft, I actually think I drafted quite well, and I'm going to win the league. So, ESPN can say whatever they want about my draft. I know what I've done, and and it was a damn good draft, I have to say. Anyways, that was a lot of fun. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes, unless you don't want to hear the details of that. But I think it's rather fun to be involved with some patrons on that kind of level. It's really, really cool. And I love football. And football season's starting on Thursday, and I couldn't be more excited, So I guess that's about it. I'll keep this brief. If you want to support the show, if you want to join the Patreon, you can't get into the Fantasy Football League, but you can follow it if you'd like, and just be a member of the Patreon, because there's just so many cool, supportive people and fans of the show in there. So go to patreon.com/WeirdAFnews for that, or weirdafnews.com. It's the official website of Weird AF News, and you can find various ways to support the show. It's always helpful to tell a friend as well about the Weird AF News podcast. A lot of people, they get a little sad and depressed because of the mainstream news. So I'm offering an alternative to that, something that'll maybe make you laugh a little bit, and at least make you go, hey, at least I'm not these people.